Good morning, I'm Alex King.
And I'm Nathan Edwards. Here's three quick stories to get your day started. A new exhibit's now open at the downtown Dayton Library. Americans in the Holocaust steps you through the complicated dynamics during World War II.
Very cool.
Yeah, good opportunity. I know it's done by the Smithsonian, so you know it's going to be definitely interesting.
Yeah, what did Americans know? What more could have been done?
Yeah.
And Cincinnati's oldest operating record store is closing after 49 years. Mole's record exchange's last day will be June 3rd.
He said he got an opportunity to sell the building for a price that he could not ignore.
Yeah.
So,
well, let me know if you want me to go get you some
discount records. Yeah, that'd be great. And a new Centerville restaurant's now open. Manna has French and Peruvian cuisine, and it's owned by the same people who started Salar in the Oregon district.
Very nice. That sounds great.
Yeah, it looks like a vibe.
I'm already hungry this morning.
Sign me up.
Today is the visitation and funeral for 7-year-old Lucas Rosales. He went missing in April. His body was finally found after families and officials searched tirelessly for weeks.
Now he will be laid to rest. Melena Brown joins us live from the funeral home this morning. Melena, what can you tell us about today's services?
Good morning, Alex and Nathan. It's just really a devastating day, devastating loss for the family. We know that they are a vibrant child. Today, the funeral will be taking place at 10 a.m. They're going to have visitation at the Woodland Cemetery, which is down the street from the funeral home, and then the actual funeral will come to follow at noon. Here's a picture of Lucas. You know, the family just wants him to be remembered for how he was. They said he touched so many lives of all the people that knew him, and he had such a bright smile. Then for anyone that needs a recap, Lucas went missing on April 29th near the Harshman Road portion of Eastwood Metro Park and the Mad River. He was then found 2 weeks later in the Great Miami River. And again, it was an extensive search, including multiple law enforcement agencies and the family also thanks all of those who searched. The funeral home says in lieu of flowers or food or cards, the family is asking for donations to cover Lucas's final cost. And again, in that beautiful obituary that the family has written, they thank all those who have prayed for their family and all of those who have said kind words, sent them messages, and the donations that they received. You can also donate a tree in Lucas's memory on the funeral home website. Back to you both.
Good morning. And, you know, this is one of those weeks where I'm not going to lie to you. It is very boring. If you happen to tune out during weather, this is a week where I've never said this before. It's okay. Like, it's going to be gorgeous outside. That's basically all you need to know. If you're looking for the exact particulars, 50s and even a couple of upper 40s for this morning. So a tad bit on the cooler side for some of us. Look at your temperatures today, 50s to 60s to 70s. Not an ounce of humidity in the air. It's going to be fantastic for anything to do outdoors. We are going to be looking at a pretty quiet day overall. And just a reminder, if you want to check out what's going on Your Day Dayton, we have our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter there. Of course, you get Your Day Extra, so check that out from this last Friday. Alex and Nathan, as well as I think Natalie was on the show as well. Hard to remember what happened Friday, but, you know, that's where my memory's at these days. As for the roads this morning, no major issues on the interstates or state roads.
An update on a missing person investigation. The Greenville Police Department took to Facebook to say they found the body of Scott Borger. The 59-year-old went missing Friday. At this time, officials don't suspect any foul play.
This morning, the man accused of killing someone at the D-Max facility in Moraine is still in the hospital. Police say a man walked into the facility Thursday night. He then killed Jeffrey Allen III, and police say a dispute over a woman co-worker led to that shooting. The D-Max facility will remain closed as police continue the investigation.
Today, Brian Kohberger is scheduled for arraignment in Idaho. He's been indicted by a grand jury for allegedly killing 4 University of Idaho students last fall.
Leanne Wynn from our sister station provides a preview of what we can expect today in court.
Accused murderer Brian Kohberger due back in court here at the Latah County Courthouse for an arraignment where he's expected to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty on each of the charges he's facing. Kohberger was indicted by a grand jury last week on 4 counts of murder and 1 count of burglary in the killings of 4 University of Idaho students last fall: Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. The case was previously set for a preliminary hearing next month, where prosecutors were expected to lay out some of the evidence in the case to show there is probable cause Kohberger committed the crime. But that hearing has now been canceled as Kohberger was indicted by grand jury on the charges. With Kohberger's indictment, the case now moves forward to district court. If he pleads not guilty, the case will be set for trial. If he pleads guilty, the case will move forward to sentencing. If convicted, Kohberger could face the death penalty, though prosecutors have not indicated yet if they will seek the death penalty. 2 additional hearings are also scheduled on other matters in the case, including scheduling and discovery. The state has already provided Kohberger's defense attorneys with 10,000 pages of reports and other written materials and more than 10,000 photos and evidence, along with other audio, video, and digital material. Kohberger, meanwhile, is being held in custody without bail. Reporting in Latah County, I'm Lynanne Wynn.
Right now, a man is fighting for his life after a reported house explosion in Shelby County Saturday. This is a picture of the aftermath. You can see all the damage here. Fire officials say the home is, quote, unlivable now. Fire departments responded to the 1500 block of Miami Shelby Road just after noon. One man is now recovering at Kettering Health in Piqua. The fire marshal is investigating.
SpaceX successfully launched a private flight to the International Space Station. On board, Saudi Arabia's first astronaut in decades and a Tennessee businessman.
Engines full power. And liftoff, Falcon 9. Go Axiom.
The crew will spend about 8 days on the station. Axiom Space, the company that arranged that flight, hasn't disclosed ticket prices, but passengers on their first private flight paid over $55 million each.
Ronald McDonald House Charities Dayton is helping local families with their annual Tapapalooza fundraiser. Businesses, schools, and people across the community collect tabs from cans to recycle. For every pound, RMHC Dayton gets 55 cents. That money goes towards everyday costs, paying staff members, and building a new house.
We are building a new house because we had to turn away 77% of families that tried to stay with us last year. So we're way too small for the needs of the community, and we want to be bigger. And this is a way that everyone can help us with that growth.
RMHC Dayton helps the families of children going through treatment at local hospitals. They provide a place to sleep, 3 daily meals, transportation, and other basic needs.
The busy travel summer season is quickly approaching. If you've got a flight coming up, you can help make travel faster by getting a TSA pre-check at local AAA retail stores. Pre-check agents will be at locations on your screen starting today. Approved pre-check travelers don't need to remove their shoes, liquids, laptops, light outerwear, or belts at airport security. Appointments are on a first-come, first-served basis and filling up fast. You can find steps to enroll online at tsa.gov.
5:08 is our time right now. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
I'm Christine Frizzell with a look at yet another allegation of misconduct inside the FBI. The latest threat from Republicans.
You're watching Your Day.
This morning, there are new questions about some big decisions made at our nation's top law enforcement agency. The FBI now accused of improperly using surveillance tools to spy on American citizens.
As Christine Frizzell reports, this comes on the heels of multiple allegations just in the last few days.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation says the proper changes have already been made to prevent a similar breach in the future. But lawmakers want to know why a surveillance tool used to gather intelligence on foreigners accused of breaking the law was used on American citizens more than 278,000 times, including January 6th riot suspects and those protesting the death of George Floyd back in 2020. The Washington Post reporting on the widespread abuse of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act between 2020 and 2021. Revelations that follow a series of others in the last week alone.
Do you swear or affirm under penalty or perjury?
3 FBI employees testifying they were retaliated against for speaking out about what they saw as wrongdoing at the Bureau.
The FBI will crush you. This government will crush you and your family if you try to expose the truth about things that they are doing that are wrong.
That hearing just days after Special Counsel John Durham's 4-year investigation concluded, looking into the FBI's probe into connections between the Trump campaign and Russia.
The Department of Justice, the FBI, and the media colluded to sell a false story that Donald Trump was a Russian agent and his campaign was being run by Russia. They ignored all the exculpatory evidence. The Durham report is damning.
House Republicans threatening to withhold federal funding for the FBI, including for a new headquarters top officials say they desperately need.
We have to exercise our authority, the power of the purse, to limit what the federal government, what the FBI and the Justice Department are doing to the American people.
Democrats argue it's all part of an extreme pressure campaign meant to boost Donald Trump's claims the federal government is weaponized against conservatives.
This is a really concerted effort to undermine Americans' confidence in the rule of law, in the Department of Justice, in the FBI.
Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, is set to expire at the end of this year and will need to be renewed by Congress. These latest revelations could make that reauthorization even tougher. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Good morning. Here's what we're looking at right for now. We are looking at a day where there will be some, I would say, clear skies across the area. There may be a couple passing clouds, but by and large, they're going to be just transient. We are going to see sunshine throughout much of the day. If we do see anything, one, you'll probably see a little bit of that haze from some of the forest fires out in Canada. And for us, I think it's just a little bit of mid to upper atmospheric clouds. From there, we'll be sunny through Tuesday. Tuesday night to Wednesday, fairly quiet as well. Perhaps the bigger storyline, and that's not much of one to be honest with you, is temperatures will be near 80 for today. Do think as we get into tonight, we should be, let's say, mid-50s. So a few degrees warmer, but not particularly that much warmer than we were this morning. Tomorrow, low 80s. Now, again, here we go, a little bit of a cool down, but look at this one. 14 degrees between the warmest temperature and the coldest. That is not at all a big temperature shift. We are going to see these highs still in the upper 60s. So frankly, Thursday is going to be rather comfortable to be outside. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we should be mid to upper 70s. So again, the gorgeous weather will continue into the weekend. But if you're a, let's say, green thumb, may need to water by the end of the week because it'll be about a week since we've seen rain. As for this morning, the commute has been so far so quiet. No issues, whether it's on the state roads or on the interstates. Things are moving pretty smoothly all across the board. With Memorial Day coming up here, you know, I'm thinking this is one of those time periods where you start thinking about summertime heat and humidity. It's also going to be bone dry outside. Not quite desert, but dry enough that, you know, some of these lawns may need a little bit of a sprinkle if you want to keep them as nicely green as you
lush.
can. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, right?
Yeah, I mean, the weather this weekend was just insane. It was so nice. Yeah. And I was just like, this is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, the only time period I think it was Friday night to Saturday that got a little bit rainy, but that was good because we needed the rain after, well, kind of a drier week, and then this week is going to be dry. Like I said, it may be just about the time you have to water the plants, but frankly, for anybody being outside, yeah, it's going to be great to sit on the porch or, watch the kids play outside.
We love hearing that good news, Nick. Our time right now is 5:18, still to come.
Do you feel mosquitoes are attracted to you? Yes. Just ahead, what researchers found and why your body odor might be the reason for that itch.
You're watching Your Day.
Auto Matters is sponsored by Chevrolet of Troy.
When you get into a crash, you call your insurance company, and if it's bad enough, they'll declare your vehicle a total loss. In other words, it's totaled. But what is that point? It varies from state to state and even between insurance companies. But a common definition is 75% of ACV, actual cash value, just before the incident. So let's say you have a $10,000 car. If it's damaged more than $7,500, it's totaled. At that point, your insurance company strokes a check and you get to go shopping. Now, there are a lot more variables we don't have time for here, so when you have a question about your damaged vehicle and insurance, check in with one of our trusted car pros here in town.
A better kind of used at the all-new Chevrolet of Troy with grand opening specials on a big selection of certified pre-owned Chevrolets and a large variety of other brands. You'll find the vehicle you're looking for. It's all at Chevrolet of Troy's grand opening center.
Good morning and welcome to Pet of the Day here on Your Day. And as you know, we celebrate everybody's pets and say hello to Teddy. Teddy was sent in by Joe. Joe says Teddy got a fresh haircut, and I know my dog in particular is one of those dogs that sheds a lot, and she's just beginning to get into summer coat season. So I was brushing her down yesterday, and I think I ended up with half a dog on on my floor. Now, meanwhile, for today, temperatures will be in the 70s and 80s. Just a fantastic day to get outside with our friends, whether it's playing ball in the backyard, or maybe you have a dog that just likes to lay in the shade or lay on the concrete where it's a bit warmer. This is going to be fantastic for that. Note a couple of clouds, but really shouldn't expect any type of heavy-duty weather anytime shortly. Again, this is a very quiet couple of days upcoming, so just great weather to get out there and enjoy. One thing it also means is a lot easier morning commute compared to when it's pouring rain, when it's windy, when it's, obviously snowing, although this time of year we're not going to have to worry about that. Right for now, things are looking pretty quiet all across the interstates. Just a friendly reminder, 75, again, with all that construction up and down, I know it's been ongoing for months now, but you want to just give yourself some extra time as you travel that area.
According to a new poll, 26% of Americans believe guns represent the top threat to public health, compared to 25% that believe opioids and fentanyl are the top concern. This poll comes from Health Index. Back in February, 17% of Americans said guns were the biggest health threat. Ohio State University became the first American university to study mushrooms for medical research. The license was granted by the Drug Enforcement Agency. Specifically, the researchers will study the relationship between mushrooms and mental health. And the number of American workers testing positive for marijuana is the highest it's been in 25 years. Quest Diagnostics says 7% of workers tested positive in its most recent survey. Food, service, and hospitality was the industry with the highest number of people testing positive. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
Scientists might know now what draws mosquitoes to humans. A scientific report published Friday says different chemicals in our body odor attract the blood-sucking insects. To test this, researchers built an ice rink-sized arena and pumped in the scents of different people for hundreds of mosquitoes. Researchers found the bugs were most attracted to compounds present in stinky cheeses like Limburger, and they were least attracted to the chemical eucalyptol found in plants. They hope the study could one day help develop mosquito lures and repellents.
Oh, all that Limburger.
Basically, I smell like stinky cheese, I guess.
Hey, if you smell like stinky cheese, then you are that might explain why I don't get mosquito bites. All the Limburger I've been eating.
Yeah, I was about to say eucalypt. What was that?
No, they're attracted to the stinky cheese.
Oh, they're attracted to, eucalypto would be like eucalyptus.
That's what I was going to say. I wonder if that's like eucalyptus. I'm just thinking to myself, like, stinky cheese is like Limburger.
So they should be attracted to you then, is what you're saying.
No, I did get a couple bug bites that are real awful, but I think it was a spider. They look like spider bites. Yeah.
There's nothing worse than sitting on a porch and just being like 10 minutes later and be like, oh my gosh, what happened to me? As you just see the welts start to pop up.
Yeah. We bought a big zapper this year. Our time right now is 5:25, still to come.
Today is the funeral for 7-year-old Lucas Rosales, and there are ways for you to donate coming up next.
Ceiling drama, a huge meeting happening today in Washington. Just ahead, John Lawrence previews the meeting between the president and House Speaker McCarthy.
In today's Tech Bites, Instagram is back up and running after a global outage. The company blames the hours-long outage yesterday on a technical issue. Meanwhile, Instagram's parent company, Meta, is working on a Twitter clone. It's expected to launch this summer as a standalone text-based app that will partially integrate within Instagram. In response to the news, Twitter's new CEO tweeted, "Game on." DoorDash is being taken to court accused of charging iPhone users higher delivery fees than Android customers. In one example, the same order from a Panera Bread was charged a 99-cent expanded range fee, but not on an Android device. DoorDash calls the lawsuit baseless. And finally, Apple is reportedly planning to sell Nike merchandise from its hit show Ted Lasso through its online store. Bloomberg says it will include AFC Richmond jerseys, shirts, and scarves. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Gillette presents the Gillette Labs with Exfoliating Bar. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris that gets in the way of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke. All with a lifetime warranty. And if you want to keep the beard, use King C Gillette, a lineup of products designed to cleanse, soften, trim, and style for your best beard. Gillette, the best a man can get.
With Allegra, allergies don't hold us back. Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin. And unlike Zyrtec, it won't make us drowsy, so you can live your greatness. And Allegra Hives works from the inside to relieve itching and reduce hives for 24 hours.
My cholesterol is borderline. I figure I can worry about it or do something about it. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free with guaranteed potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 quick stories to get your day started. Meta says it fixed a glitch on Facebook. It automatically sent friend requests when users visited profiles. People say it made Facebook stalking impossible.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what's creepier.
I kind of love that.
I don't know, it's kind of weird though too. And also Mark Zuckerberg looks super creepy.
He looks like an AI right there.
He does, yeah. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny has a 50% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, making it the lowest rated film in the franchise.
Wow.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to stand up because Indiana Jones is my favorite of all time, and they're just drinking the haterade right now.
What?
They also said that, the Mario movie wasn't going to be good, and that got like a, big rating.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
All right, well.
Get over yourself, Raiders.
And climate change protesters poured black liquid into Rome's historic Trevi fountain. One poster says it upstaged a few proposals.
This is dumb.
Seriously?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. If you want to make your point, sure, but don't ruin something for everybody else.
Yeah. You're taking a live look at the White House. President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will meet there today for another discussion about the debt limit.
The country could default in less than 2 weeks. Now concerns about possible consequences are growing. John Lawrence reports.
Prior to leaving the G7 summit in Hiroshima this weekend, President Joe Biden addressed the stalemate over the U.S. debt ceiling crisis.
It's time for Republicans to accept that there is no bipartisan deal to be made solely on their partisan terms. They have to move as well.
According to a White House official, Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy spoke by phone Sunday, a conversation McCarthy called, quote, productive.
Look, there's no agreement on anything. We've all said our piece about where we are, and we're trying to find common ground to get this done.
Time is running low for Biden and McCarthy.
we expect to be unable to pay all of our bills in early June and possibly as soon as June 1st.
Some analysts say a default would likely cause a recession, a jump in unemployment, place federal and military salaries in jeopardy, and cause a stoppage of Social Security benefits.
Financial markets could seize up. You could see lots of layoffs. You could see lots of companies have to pull back. And yes, there would be devastating economic consequences from those kinds of effects.
For over 120 years, we've been able to get this problem solved. It's just unbelievable. We're now sitting here not knowing for sure, not having that inner confidence. We'll get over it. Yeah, it'll be fine. They're just posturing. It's not clear that that's what's going on.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
We are looking at a completely gorgeous afternoon, temperatures near 80 degrees. Now, that being said, if you're putting the kids on the bus, probably going to be a little bit on the cooler side for this morning. You know, temperatures around 50 for this time of year. That's not particularly that cold. There may be a couple clouds around the area, but by and large, today should be anywhere between what I would say is partly to mostly sunny. So the blue sky will be out in full force. Temperatures will be, again, 50s, 60s, and 70s. So this should be a fairly comfortable week ahead overall, with temperatures near or above average throughout much of the week, with the exception of maybe on Thursday. And just a reminder, if you like this weather, hey, let us know about it. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, Your Day Dayton. While you're there, like and follow us, because hey, that's what the cool kids are doing today. Meanwhile, if you're on the roads this morning, it is a morning where it's fairly quiet outside. Haven't seen any tie-ups or issues thus far.
To help prevent another global worldwide network to help alert people of infectious disease threats. The International Pathogen Surveillance Network would let countries share information on a central platform. It would also help improve systems for collecting and analyzing samples.
Today is a visitation and funeral for 7-year-old Lucas Rosales. He went missing in April. His body was finally found after families and officials searched tirelessly for weeks.
Now he'll be laid to rest. Melina Brown joins us live from the funeral home this morning. Melina, what can you tell us about today's service?
You know, today is really a devastating day for all the family that were involved. They said in the obituary it's very, very hard for them to go through this, and remembering Lucas for how he was. We do know that today there will be services starting at 10 a.m. There's going to be visitation at the Woodland Cemetery, and then that actual funeral service will follow at noon. Here's a picture of Lucas. The family just wants him to be remembered for the bright smile that he had and all of the lives that he touched from all the people that knew him. As a reminder, Lucas went missing on April 29th near the Harshman Road portion of Eastwood Metro Park and the Mad River. He was then found 2 weeks later in the Great Miami River after an extensive search, including multiple law enforcement agencies. And the family also thanks them. On the website of the funeral home, it says, in lieu of flowers or cards, the family is asking for donations to cover all of Lucas's final service expenses. And again, in that obituary for Lucas, the family does thank all of those who have sent them kind words, messages, prayed for them, and for the donations that they received. You can also donate a tree in Lucas's memory on the funeral home website. Back to you both.
Thanks, Melina. The Dayton Bike Park at Welcome Park is now open. The free cycling center offers over 10 acres of advanced, intermediate, and beginner trails. There's also a bicycle playground for children and a trail for walking and easy riding. Free parking is available in Lot D of Welcome Stadium.
Tonight, the NAACP is hosting their next town hall. It's about black fraternities and sororities and their impact on our community. You can attend at 6:30 at the Grace United Methodist Church or watch live on the Dayton Unit's Facebook page.
Our time right now is 5:37. Don't forget to get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Cincy trying to stop the skid as they close out a series with the New York Yankees. Just ahead, Matt Digby has highlights from Great American Ballpark.
You're watching Your Day.
We are looking at a day where we should be able to get into the 70s as soon as 11 a.m. But look at the rest of the day and how it plays out. It is going to be a great day to get outside and enjoy it. Near 80 degrees by probably about 5 p.m. or so. Obviously, a lot of us getting home from work at that time period. If you are stuck in traffic between 80 and the sunshine, you're probably either going to need to roll those windows down a lot and hope for a breeze or turn on the AC. It's about that temperature where, you know, the ACs get starting to fire it up, especially with the sunshine outside. If you have a dark colored house or one that retains heat really well, that's about the only thing noteworthy of today. Many of us probably still, frankly, windows open, especially considering that there's really a lack of humidity in the air. I don't see there any being or any humidity in the air even through the weekend. This is one of those not only dry in terms of any type of wet weather, but dry in terms of any humidity. The only thing of note, if you're going to be outside, just make sure you're drinking plenty of liquids. Although, you know, we're certainly going to see warmer and more humid days ahead. I think that the next week or so with temperatures 70s, 80s, sunshine. Yeah, I don't think many of us are planning our trip to Florida, or we're doing it reluctantly at this point.
I mean, it's beautiful. You really can't beat it. Yesterday was just amazing.
Yeah, these are the days I've been waiting for, I've been dreaming for.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Checks to this guy.
Yeah, you wish.
Yeah, right? I just got a check for 0.0001 cent.
Hey.
Those add up.
It adds up, right?
Yeah, and you know what? It's going to be a great time to get out, go to baseball games, just enjoy any sports, just outdoors and soak it up the sun.
Let's check in with Matt Digby.
Good morning. I'm Matt Digby with a look at sports. The Cincinnati Reds had chances to win both Friday and Saturday against the Yankees, but came up short both those days. Sunday, they were hoping to avoid being swept at home for the first time this season. However, that's exactly what happened yesterday at Great American Ballpark. The Reds did open the scoring in the first inning, just like on Saturday. This fly ball here originally ruled foul, but later overturned in a video review, allowing Jonathan India to score the first run. However, the Yankees answering with home runs from both Harrison Bader and Gleyber Torres. The Reds did load the bases in the ninth inning but couldn't capitalize, and that means they have lost 6 of their last 7. It's the third time they have been swept this season, at the Braves, at the Pirates, and now at home against the Yankees. The Dayton Dragons finishing their week-long series with Fort Wayne. A back-and-forth game Sunday, ultimately going to the Tin Caps. Dayton was down 7-4 in the 7th before 6 runs, including a 3-run shot from Justice Thompson. However, Fort Wayne with a grand slam in the 8th to take the game and the series. Dragons are on the road starting tomorrow at the South Bend Cubs. That'll do it for sports. I'm Matt Digby.
5:43 is our time right now. A stampede breaks out at a soccer stadium in Central America. In minutes, why the chaos erupted and how many fans were taken to the hospital.
You're watching Your Day.
People being treated in El Salvador after a stampede broke out at a soccer stadium over the weekend, killing at least 12 people. Police say fans overran an access gate into the stadium, resulting in overcrowding. It happened during the El Salvadorian Soccer League's quarterfinals match right outside the nation's capital. According to the country's health minister, at least 100 people have been hospitalized, including several minors. El Salvador's national police and the Attorney General's office is investigating the incident.
Aerial footage of flooding from northern Italy. Over 36,000 people have been evacuated from the region of Emilia-Romagna due to deadly floods that have killed at least 14 people. Cleanup operations were in full swing over the weekend. Emergency services removed mud from washed out roads after landslides. The Italian Prime Minister toured the affected area on Sunday, having cut short her visit to Japan for the G7 in response to the disaster. Nearly 5,000 are sheltering in government allocated centers such as cinemas and museums.
I was actually watching some of the coverage from Italy, and yeah, you know, heavy duty rains can do that. Across the country, there's a couple of areas worth watching, and one of them seems to be centered, I would dare say, Texas, New Mexico area. That is where there can be some strong to severe storms over the next ensuing couple of days. I don't think it's a major outbreak, or at least I should note that the signs aren't quite there for, oh boy, this is really something that we're going to have to watch. It may be a case where, yes, one of those days does turn into a very active severe weather event. But in terms of, let's say, oh my gosh, I don't think we're just quite there yet. Meanwhile, across the country, a lot of temperatures in the 50s and 60s, exception Phoenix and, of course, Florida as well. What we are seeing is the jet almost from west to east. And I was looking, there's no real major kinks in it. So what you're looking for is those ones that go like this. That's how you get those wider temperature spreads. It's also how you get severe weather with a low pressure across the west and high pressure across the east. Just doesn't seem like we're going to get that. So effectively, what we're going to get is a lot of skies like this. Partly to mostly sunny. You're going to get temperatures within a relatively narrow range as well. 14 degrees separates our coldest from our warmest, and that does even include the overnights where, frankly, it's going to be very close to each other in the grand scheme of things. We're not seeing, again, any super highs, super lows, just pretty consistent overall, with the next 3 days being around 80, and then Thursday being near 60 or near 70, although a lot of us will stay in the 60s. On the roads this morning, it has been very quiet on that morning commute. Traffic not going to be hampered at all by the weather, so just keep in mind, may need a pair of sunglasses. That should be about it.
5:49 is our time right now. A soft drink favorite jumping into the ice cream game. In minutes, the new sweet treat from Dr. Pepper and who they're teaming up with.
You're watching Your Day.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an ABC News exclusive. For more than 40 years, Def Leppard drummer Rick Allen has rocked the world with just one arm. But in March, after a show in Fort Lauderdale, Rick was violently attacked, and this morning, he's describing what happened only to GMA.
I want to talk about your experience after that show.
I heard a couple of steps, and then I just saw this dark sort of flash, and the next thing I knew was I was on the ground. I landed on my backside, and then continued on, hit my head on the pavement.
Our ABC News exclusive interview with Def Leppard drummer Rick Allen coming up at 7. With your GMA First Look, I'm Phil Lipoff, ABC News, New York.
My husband and I have never been more active.
Shingles doesn't care.
I go to spin classes with my coworkers.
Good for you. Shingles doesn't care. Because no matter how healthy you feel, your risk of shingles sharply increases after age 50. But Shingrix protects. Proven over 90% effective, Shingrix is a vaccine used to prevent shingles in adults 50 years and older. Shingrix does not protect everyone and is not for those with severe allergic reactions to its ingredients or to a previous dose. An increased risk of Guillain-Barré syndrome was observed after getting Shingrix. Fainting can also happen. The most common side effects are pain, redness and swelling at the injection site, muscle pain, tiredness, headache, shivering, fever, and upset stomach. Shingles doesn't care, but Shingrix protects. Shingrix is now $0 for almost everyone. Ask your doctor about Shingrix today.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio, where this morning it is about as springtime as you could get. The plants are obviously blooming. The skies are, for the most part, pretty clear this morning, and more importantly, the temperatures are up, and that even includes the morning hours. Although it's not particularly that warm outside, I don't think it's that cold either. 50 degrees or thereabouts. You know, some of us are in the upper 40s, looking at you, Troy, Springboro, and Middletown. Others more towards the 50s. I think today's one of those days where, despite the little bit of a chill in the air this morning, it should be fantastic, especially as the day goes on. So once we get afternoon, evening, I do think we'll probably be around 80 degrees, maybe a touch warm, but without the humidity, you know, it's not going to feel as warm as if it was 80 and humid outside. So really, all in all, whether it's right now or later on today, great day to get outside and enjoy it.
This is JimmyBuffett.com, where he posted this message to fans saying he's in the hospital and had to postpone his concert in Charleston, South Carolina. Now, the 76-year-old says he went in for a checkup and ended up needing to address undisclosed health issues requiring immediate attention. Buffett says he and the Coral Reefer Band will make up the concert as soon as possible.
These photos come from Bozeman, Montana, where firefighters rescued a family of ducklings from a storm drain. Neighbors called for help last week. Firefighters arrived and pried open the drain. Down below, they found 10 ducklings. The mama duck and one sibling quacked loudly in the grass nearby. Animal control officers helped get all the ducklings out safely, and the happy reunited family waddled off together.
Behind me is drpepper.com. The soft drink giant features a lot of flavors, and now fans can enjoy ice cream as they're teaming up with Bluebell Creameries. Now check this out. The new ice cream, which mixes vanilla ice cream with Dr. Pepper flavor sherbet, is available at stores where Bluebell is sold. Now, Dr. Pepper and Bluebell both have roots in Texas. Founded in Waco in 1885, Dr. Pepper was the first in the wave of 19th century upstart soda companies. Bluebell was launched in 1807 in Brenham, Texas. Have you guys ever had a Dr. Pepper float?
No, but that sounds amazing.
Whenever I had the chance, root beer float is what I used to love. You know, root beer over ice cream. That was my summer treat back in the day.
Yeah, I like Coke floats are really good too. If you've never had those.
Yeah, see, I'm not the biggest root beer person, so Coke or Dr. Pepper would be.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper would be pretty sweet.
I'm not going to lie to you. I could actually try Dr. Pepper ice cream. I don't know how well it would work, but Dr. Pepper has that flavor that I'm like, okay, that may be close enough that I'll take a shot at it. I mean, I'm not sure if I would have Coke-flavored ice cream. I probably would as well.
I don't know. Anything sweetened,
Yeah.
you know,
Anything with ice cream.
Yeah,
well, except mac and cheese, mustard. And,
yeah, okay, yeah. No, definitely not. Over time right now is 5:56. We got a lot more coming up on your day at 6 a.m.
The funeral for 7-year-old Lucas Rosales is today, and there are ways for you to donate and help the family coming up.
Amazing mom and a miracle baby at 6 heroics and how she will be honored this weekend at the Indy 500.
And one last look at that forecast where it's 80s for the next 3 days. Boy, you want to talk about a fantastic week of weather. Temperatures at the coolest upper 60s and overnight lows in the mid to upper 40s. That is about it. I mean, that is when you talk about a very mild overall pattern. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, when we really want to get outside and enjoy it as we get closer to the Memorial Day holiday, the unofficial kickoff of summer. Boy, you know what? Mid to upper 70s, not a lot of humidity and sunshine with just some passing clouds. That is a complete sign me up for the week ahead.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning, I'm Alex King.
And I'm Nathan Edwards. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. Take a look at this. ODOT cameras capturing an earthquake on camera. You're going to see the shake here in just a second. Now, this 2.6 magnitude quake, there it was, happened up in Wood County. That's just outside of Toledo. Crazy.
I expected more than that, but
I mean, you don't really get earthquakes in Ohio very often,
that's fair.
so enough of a little rattle there is
so
good stuff.
Spooky.
And Cincinnati's oldest operating record store is closing after 49 years. Mole's Record Exchange's last day will be June 3rd.
You hate to see, especially with the resurgence of vinyl records, but you know what? He says that he's selling it because somebody wanted to buy the building, and it was too good of an offer.
Time to retire, I guess.
I guess so. Enjoy retirement, my man.
He looks awesome.
Yeah. And a new Centerville restaurant's now open. Manna has French and Peruvian cuisine. It's in Uptown Centerville. Now, it's actually owned and operated by the same folks who own Solar down in the Oregon district. So you know it's going to be good. Love Solar. Excited for this. Plus, I mean, Uptown Centerville, there's just a lot going on down there.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Definitely have to check it out. Today is the visitation and funeral for 7-year-old Lucas Rosales. He went missing in April. His body was finally found after families and officials searched tirelessly for weeks.
Now he'll be laid to rest. Melena Brown joins us live from the funeral home this morning. Melena, what can you tell us about today's services?
Nathan, we know today is probably going to be a very, very hard day for the family as they're still mourning the loss of their loved one. In that obituary that they wrote, they described Lucas as having vibrant laughter, being a vibrant personality. So we do know that those services are going to start at 10 a.m. at the Woodward Cemetery. It's going to be a visitation for about 2 hours, and then the funeral service will start at noon. Here's a picture of Lucas, and the family wants him to be remembered for all the lives that he touched of everyone that knew him and his bright smile. Just as a reminder, Lucas went missing on April 29th near the Harshman Road portion of the Eastwood Metro Park in the Mad River. He was then found 2 weeks later in the Great Miami River after an extensive search, including multiple law enforcement agencies, and the family thanks them for all that they did. The funeral home also says in lieu of flowers or food or cards, the family is asking for donations to help cover Lucas's final service expenses. That obituary that was also on the funeral home website also says that the family is thanking everyone that has prayed for them, sent them kind messages, and has donated to their family. You can also plant a tree in memorial for Lucas on the funeral home's website. Back to you both.
Good morning. We are looking at temperatures right for now in the 50s. There are a couple spots in the mid 40s, but by and large, we're low 50s across, I would say, 2/3 of the area. If you're putting the kids on the bus this morning, you know, it's not a bad morning at all. Should be a mix of sun and clouds with temperatures in the 50s and low 70s. Frankly, this is just going to be one of those mornings that it's absolutely fantastic outside. If you're a fan of the cooler weather, get outside in the morning, maybe get your morning run in. Fan of a little bit warmer, get outside during the afternoon, where again, temperatures should be able to get to 80. And without the humidity, it may not feel like a full 80 degrees, if you know what I'm saying, when it can't get humid. Meanwhile, we are on social media here. Your Day Dayton. Go ahead and like and follow us, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You know, we like talking to the people, and that's one of the ways that we can get, you know, our shenanigans out in the public where they belong. As for this morning, so far so quiet on your morning commute. No issues on interstate or state roads.
An update on a missing person investigation. The Greenville Police Department took to Facebook to say they found the body of Scott Borger. The 59-year-old went missing Friday. At this time, officials don't suspect any foul play.
This morning, we're working to find out when the DMAX facility will reopen after a shooting Thursday night. We called the plant this morning to see if it'll be open today, but they wouldn't tell us. Moraine police say the shooter is still in the hospital awaiting formal charges. Investigators say he shot and killed Jeffrey Allen III. Police say a dispute over a woman co-worker led to the shooting.
Today, Brian Kohberger is scheduled for arraignment in Idaho. He's been indicted by a grand jury for allegedly killing 4 University of Idaho students last fall.
Lynn Ann Wynn from our sister station provides a preview of what we can expect today in court.
Accused murderer Brian Kohberger due back in court here at the Latah County Courthouse for an arraignment where he's expected to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty on each of the charges he's facing. Kohberger was indicted by a grand jury last week on 4 counts of murder and 1 count of burglary in the killings of 4 University of Idaho students last fall: Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. The case was previously set for a preliminary hearing next month, where prosecutors were expected to lay out some of the evidence in the case to show there is probable cause Kohberger committed the crime. But that hearing has now been canceled as Kohberger was indicted by grand jury on the charges. With Kohberger's indictment, the case now moves forward to district court. If he pleads not guilty, the case will be set for trial. If he pleads guilty, the case will move forward to sentencing. If convicted, Koberger could face the death penalty, though prosecutors have not indicated yet if they will seek the death penalty. 2 additional hearings are also scheduled on other matters in the case, including scheduling and discovery. The state has already provided Koberger's defense attorneys with 10,000 pages of reports and other written materials and more than 10,000 photos and evidence, along with other audio, video, and digital material. Koberger, meanwhile, is being held in custody without bail. Reporting in Latah County, I'm Lynanne Wynn.
Right now, a man is fighting for his life after a reported house explosion in Shelby County Saturday. This is a picture of the aftermath. You can see the house very badly damaged. Fire officials say the home is, quote, unlivable now. Fire departments responded to the 1500 block of Miami Shelby Road just after noon. One man is now recovering at Kettering Health in Piqua. The fire marshal is investigating.
SpaceX successfully launched a private flight to the International Space Station. On board, Saudi Arabia's first astronaut in decades and a Tennessee businessman.
Engines full power. And liftoff, Falcon 9. Go Axiom.
The crew will spend about 8 days on the station. Axiom Space, the company that arranged the flight, hasn't disclosed the ticket prices, but passengers on their first private flight paid over $55 million each.
Ronald McDonald House Charities Dayton is helping local families with their annual Tabapalooza fundraiser. Businesses, schools, and people across the community collect tabs from cans to recycle. For every pound, RMHC Dayton gets 55 cents. That money goes towards everyday costs, paying staff members and building a new house.
We are building a new house because we had to turn away 77% of families that tried to stay with us last year. So we're way too small for the needs of the community, and we want to be bigger. And this is a way that everyone can help us with that growth.
RMHC Dayton helps the families of children going through treatment at local hospitals. They provide a place to sleep, 3 daily meals, transportation, and other basic needs.
The busy summer travel season's approaching. If you got a flight coming up, you can help make travel faster by getting a TSA pre-check at local AAA retail stores. Pre-check agents will be at the locations on your screen starting today. Approved pre-check travelers don't need to remove their shoes, liquids, laptops, light outerwear, or belts at airport security. Appointments are first come, first serve, and filling up fast. You can find steps to enroll online at tsa.gov.
6:08 is our time right now. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Do you feel mosquitoes are attracted to you? Just ahead, what researchers found and why your body odor might be the reason for that itch.
You're watching Your Day.
It is a morning where we are seeing the sunshine and my computer lagging as well. Boy, you know, it's Monday for technology too. There we go. Sun is out right now and it is a gorgeous looking start to your day. There we go. All right, things are looking okay. It is definitely going to be the time of year where you can get some cool mornings, but you also get some mild daytimes. Temperatures mid to upper 70s. We should be able to get to around 84 today. We will get these temperatures down to the 70s by, let's say, 7, 8, 9 p.m. And then from there, down 60s by about midnight. So if you're a late nighter, you will see that. Tomorrow morning, temperatures in the 50s, and then we will be back in the 80s for tomorrow. So frankly, the next 3 days are going to be very similar to each other with 80 degrees plus during the daytime. On the roads this morning, you know, a little bit of traffic at Pennyroyal, but haven't seen any major concerns or any type of significant slowdowns. Just maybe a little bit of congestion around 35 and 75.
Our time right now is 6:12, trying to realize what time it is. Amazing mom and a miracle baby just ahead. Her heroics and how she will be honored this weekend at the Indy 500.
You're watching Your Day.
We want to give you a live look at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.com, where the Indy 500, a Memorial Day weekend tradition, takes off for the 107th time this Sunday.
Waving the green flag, an Indiana mother celebrating survival and a miracle baby. John Doran has the details.
Come on. This is Kendall. Her name is Xylan.
Every step, no matter how difficult, is a gift.
And this is Miss Miracle Baby, Miss Rayleigh.
Her injuries, a reminder of her greatest miracle.
She kept me alive and I kept her alive.
Bailey Rogers was 34 weeks pregnant with her miracle baby last 4th of July.
Honestly, don't really know how it happened, what happened.
Her instincts kicked in.
I just seen the car coming at my kids, and I pushed them out of the way, and I got taken under the car.
Pinned, helpless, and frightened.
I said, I'm pretty sure my baby's dead.
Rogers was rushed to the hospital in Terre Haute.
And they did emergency C-section.
Then an emergency flight to Indianapolis.
And the next thing I remember, I woke up here.
Away from her family and fighting for her life.
My femur was completely snapped in two. I had a hip dislocation, my pelvis, my pelvic ring, my hip ball joint, it was all completely shattered.
We're so excited to see you.
I had never seen her walk before.
Nearly a year later, Rogers is wowing those who saw her at her worst.
To know what she's been through and to see how well she's doing now, I mean, it blows me away, but it doesn't surprise me.
Rogers has her doctors and her youngest to thank.
They told me basically that if I wasn't pregnant, I wouldn't have made it because your bones are so more durable when you're pregnant.
Almost fully recovered, Rogers will deliver the green flag on Indy's biggest stage, sharing her story and message of perseverance.
I could have been not alive, but you know, I'm here now and I'm telling my story and telling people don't ever give up.
Because miracles do happen.
We are looking at a quiet start to your morning. It is overall one of those mornings where things are pretty much shaping up to be, I would say, a sunny day. Maybe just a couple afternoon, evening clouds, but those sometimes help out. And I know I don't want to make a big deal of afternoon, evening clouds, but when you do get temperatures up around 80, you get that sun beating down on you. Sometimes it's just nice to have a little bit of passing clouds, give you that brief shade break before you go right back to the sun. Those clouds may stick around overnight. We should be within a few degrees of where we are this morning, just a little bit warmer if we're going to be fair, but I mean, really, tomorrow, basically all intents and purposes, a repeat of today. If we rise 2 degrees in the morning, 2 degrees in the afternoon, that would be about it. Ditto that for Wednesday, although Wednesday night to Thursday, we'll get a boundary moving through. Note the temperature trend. It's going to go about 14 degrees colder. Huge? Not necessarily significant. Yeah, I would bite on that one. The reason why I say it's not a huge one is 14-degree temperature swings from top to bottom. Not much at all, and that's the only one of this week ahead. We'll be bouncing back into the mid to upper 70s as we get closer to the weekend. Frankly, it's going to be a gorgeous weekend as well. Speaking of gorgeous, so far, you know, I don't want to say that the morning commute is gorgeous, but it definitely has not been any major issues outside. No tie-ups or concerns on the interstates or state roads. Let's head to Columbus.
Well, good morning to you on this Monday. We are looking fantastic here in Columbus, and the metro area really is very light right now with traffic. We're not seeing too many issues. 70 eastbound working your way in. You're not going to have any problems there once you get into Franklin County and continue in towards downtown. Everything is moving up to speed. Things over here also looking fantastic in those 70 eastbound lanes as you're working your way towards the airport, if that's somewhere you have to be. We're also looking good on the other stretch of 70 over here on the east side as well. I'm Katie McKee with your Triple Team Traffic.
In my day-to-day of seeing patients in the clinic, hands down, I find that one of the most common challenges is weight management, especially when my client's dog or cat behaves like they are constantly hungry and are always bothering their owners for food. If you're a pet owner who struggles with what seems like an always hungry pet, the first thing you should do is schedule an appointment with your vet so that they can rule out any potential medical causes that might be at the root of the problem. If your vet successfully rules out any medical causes that might be contributing to your pet's hunger, you might want to consider offering the same amount of food over more offerings. So what I mean is if you feed your pet a half a cup in the morning and a half a cup in the evening, consider switching to a third of a cup 3 times a day, so a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Connect with us at our station website by looking up For Pet's Sake. We'd also love to see your favorite pet moments that you can share with our community. Go to our news app, click Explore, chime in, and upload your pet-tastic photos.
Scientists might know now what draws mosquitoes to humans. A scientific report published Friday says different chemicals in our body odor attract the blood-sucking insects. To test this, researchers built an ice rink-sized arena and pumped in the scents of different people for hundreds of mosquitoes. Researchers found the bugs were most attracted to compounds present in stinky cheeses like Limburger, and they were least attracted to the chemical eucalyptus, found in plants. They hope the study could one day help develop mosquito lures and repellents. I was going for it.
Hey, you'll get it one of these days. Our time right now, 6:21. Digital producer Max getting you ready for the work week. Our Facebook poll question coming up in just minutes.
You're watching Your Day.
Time to do some pet of the day here on Your Day, and today we're joined by Teddy, not to be confused with the bear, but Teddy had himself a haircut, and Joe sent Teddy looking pretty sharp, if you ask so myself. I know this time of year some of the dogs start to shed a little bit. Other dogs want to get that trimmed down so that they can get a little bit cooler. Other dogs like mine are just furry beast, and that's the way that they roll around. We are looking at Green Paws Day for today. A lot of sunshine outside, but there will likely be some clouds. So if you're getting outside with your friend, it is going to be a little bit on the warm side. Something that's worth pointing out that this time of year, with all the sun, especially the black pavement, you just want to be a little bit more cognizant of how hot that gets. When it is in the sun, touch it. If it starts to feel warm to your hand, maybe wise to keep the pets off of that concrete, or just make sure that you're not going across, a cavernous parking lot, maybe just a quick trip. On the roads this morning, speaking of the blacktop, things are moving pretty smoothly across the interstates. Haven't seen any tie-ups or concerns thus far, so things are looking pretty good here on a morning where temperatures should get up to around 80 degrees later on.
And as the temperature warms up, it is time for some sweet treats, cold treats, Max.
Oh, that was a good transition,
Yeah,
Nathan.
man. I got you, brother.
So this was on our site the other day. Bluebell teamed up with Dr. Pepper to release a new ice cream. It's vanilla ice cream with a Dr. Pepper flavored sherbet. I think that sounds pretty good, but I wanted to know if you could make your own ice cream flavor, what would it be? And don't forget a catchy name.
Okay, well, I just posted mine, and it is called I call it the Waffler, a maple-based ice cream with waffle cone chunks and chocolate chips.
Oh, I like that. That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not going to lie, I kind of wavered on the idea of adding some bacon in there, too, but wasn't sure.
Okay, I love Sean's idea, so I'm going to snag his for a second because I can't think of any other one because I am a big fan of espresso coffee-flavored ice cream, and he said with cookie and brownie chunks.
That sounds good.
And he named it Wake and Bake, which I love.
That's fun.
That sounds great.
I'd go maybe a kiwi-based ice cream of some sort. Like go tropical with it. So kiwi, like coconut, maybe a little bit of like pineapple, and just the cream. So you have that like almost a, what do you call it, pina colada style drink? Or just a very tropical drink.
Max, do you have one?
Okay, Swedish fish flavored ice cream.
You know what's funny is they actually have Swedish fish flavored Italian ice at Rita's Ice.
Oh, that sounds good.
So if you're interested, that's a good way to go get your sweet. Yeah, I mean, it should be good. Yeah, good stuff, Max. And you kind of remind me of the Swedish chef.
Pork.
Our time right now is 6:27. Still to come this morning.
The funeral for 7-year-old Lucas Rosales is today, and there are ways to help the family.
Debt ceiling drama, a huge meeting happening today in Washington. Just ahead, John Lawrence previews the meeting between the president and House Speaker McCarthy.
But first, here's Genevieve Gorder with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
This will come as a surprise to you guys, but the #1 cause of accidents is distracted driving. This is Drop Stop. Let me tell you about this innovative product. One of the founders of Drop Stop was driving down Sunset Boulevard, got distracted, jumped a curve, almost hit someone. And after the accident, he looked down to where his phone had dropped and he had a light bulb moment as he wondered why nobody has invented something to fill the gap. And that's when Drop Stop was born. You know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're driving, you drop your phone down that void on either side of your seat, whether you're a passenger or a driver, and all of a sudden you're like this, right? You're distracted. This fills that void. It's that simple. This fits right over the seatbelt and you stuff it right into that gap, driver or passenger side. This is the black hole of where everything in your life falls down in your car. Your wallet, your keys, your phone. Now, this is one of the top 10 selling products on Shark Tank. We are giving you guys an incredible offer today. Take advantage of this. These make wonderful gifts. Give them to everyone in your life who drives. You can absolutely afford to do so. Go to asadeals.com.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 quick stories to get your day started. Meta says it fixed a glitch on Facebook. It was automatically sending friend requests when users visited profiles. People say it made Facebook stalking impossible.
Facebook's just so weird these days. It's not what it used to be.
I can honestly say I don't think I've ever Facebook stalked anyone.
Yeah.
Aside if I'm looking to friend request them.
Yeah, that's weird. All right. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny has a 50% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, making it the lowest rated film in the franchise. This is upsetting, but I'm still going to see it. I'm still going to love it because Indiana Jones, the character, is what I go for.
Yes, exactly. And he got like several minutes standing ovation for this movie too. So
people just want to hate on it, but you know, whatever.
Well, we give it a great.
Leave Harrison alone.
And climate change protesters poured black liquid into Rome's historic Trevi fountain. One poster says it upstaged a few proposals. How sad.
Yeah, I don't know about this. I mean,
Come on.
I don't understand why they got to destroy things.
Yeah, and also it's like you're literally doing the opposite. Like, I know you're trying to send a message, but you're doing what
let them do it. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
You're protesting. You're taking a live look at the White House. President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will meet there today for another discussion about the debt limit.
The country could default in less than 2 weeks. Now concerns about possible consequences are growing. John Lawrence reports.
Prior to leaving the G7 summit in Hiroshima this weekend, President Joe Biden addressed the stalemate over the U.S. debt ceiling crisis.
It's time for Republicans to accept that there is no bipartisan deal to be made solely on their partisan terms. They have to move as well.
According to a White House official, Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy spoke by phone Sunday, a conversation McCarthy called, quote, productive.
Look, there's no agreement on anything. We've all said our piece about where we are, and we're trying to find common ground to get this done.
Time is running low for Biden and McCarthy.
We expect to be unable to early June and possibly as soon as June 1st.
Some analysts say a default would likely cause a recession, a jump in unemployment, place federal and military salaries in jeopardy, and cause a stoppage of Social Security benefits.
Financial markets could seize up. You could see lots of layoffs. You could see lots of companies have to pull back. And yes, there would be devastating economic consequences from those kinds of effects.
For over 120 years, we've been able to get this problem solved. It's just unbelievable. We're now sitting here not knowing for sure, not having that inner confidence. We'll get over it. Yeah, it'll be fine. They're just posturing. It's not clear that that's what's going on.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
We are looking at a warmer start than this time 24 hours ago. Not exactly what I would say is warm outside, though. We are going to be getting these temperatures into the upper 40s and low 50s. So for the next hour or two, it may be just a touch cool for some of us. The rest of us may be just enjoying it. If you're putting the kids on the bus this morning, here's what you need to know. Through 9 a.m., low 60s, 11 a.m., low 70s. Again, if you're a fan of running, this is maybe the perfect weather for that. If you're a fan of windows down, maybe just a little bit cool, although depends on your car as well. I know mine tends to get pretty warm when the sun is out. Now, just a reminder, you could go to Your Day Dayton. We'll have the poll question up there. We've got the Your Day Extra podcast from Friday. Go ahead and always check that out. And then as you look towards the roads, you know, not too shabby as well. Just a reminder, maybe you can download the Your Day Extra podcast and listen to it on the car. There's an idea as well.
Today is the visitation and funeral for 7-year-old Lucas Rosales. He went missing in April. His body was finally found after family and officials searched tirelessly for weeks.
Now he'll be laid to rest. Milena Brown joins us live from the funeral home this morning. Milena, what can you tell us about today's services?
Nathan, what I can tell you is that I'm sure it's going to be a very, very hard day for the family who's still mourning the loss of their loved one. They've described Lucas as vibrant and having an infectious laughter. I am outside of the funeral home right now. The services are going to take place at the Woodward Cemetery starting at 10 a.m. It's going to be visitation, and then that actual funeral service will follow at noon. Here's a picture of Lucas. The family says they want him to be remembered for all of the lives that he touched, of the people that knew him and his bright smile. Just as a reminder, Lucas went missing on April 29th near the Harshman Road portion of Eastwood Metro Park and the Mad River. He was then unfortunately found 2 weeks later in the Great Miami River after an extensive search, including multiple law enforcement agencies, and the family has extended their thanks to them. Right now, you're taking a look at the funeral home website, and it says in lieu of flowers or food or cards, the family is asking for donations to cover Lucas's final services expenses. And then again, in that beautiful obituary that is on that funeral website, the family is thanking those who have said kind words to them, have prayed for the family, and for any donations that have already been given. You can also plant a tree in memorial for Lucas on the funeral home's website. Back to you both.
Tonight, the NAACP is hosting their next town hall. It's about black fraternities and sororities and their impact in our community. You can attend at 6:30 at the Grace United Methodist Church or watch live on the Dayton Unit's Facebook page.
Our time right now is 6:39. Don't forget to get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Cincy trying to stop a skid as they close out a series with the New York Yankees. Just ahead, Matt Digby has highlights from Great American Ballpark.
You're watching Your Day.
the Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Take a peek at this recent incredible shelf cloud southwest of Little Rock, Arkansas. Shelf clouds are attached to the bottom of a cloud, which is usually a thunderstorm. However, they can sometimes be linked with a cold front even without a thunderstorm. And check out this close-up view, a meadow of wildflowers for pollinators at Howard Law School in Washington, D.C.
Want to see your weather photos and videos on TV? Click Chime In on this station's website to share.
Good morning. I was looking at that picture of the supercell in Arkansas, and I was just remarking about the structure of it. Really evident. Sometimes on those storms, you can see a really defined inflow, and some people think that that's actually a tornado. Sometimes that's where the air is actually coming in, and because it is a lot of warm, moist air coming into the cloud that is relatively cold, you can't get that funnel of condensation. Anyway, the point of it is, I don't think we're going to be dealing with any type of severe weather, any type of heavy-duty cloudy skies. In fact, right for now, just looking up, it is pretty blue sky. Now, it may be offset by a little bit of that milky white. Of course, we've dealt with that for the past about a week or so, frankly. It has been, when it hasn't been raining, the pattern is such that it is bringing some of that air from the Canadian Rockies area, the Canadian provinces, and with it, we have seen a little bit of smoke tank. Now, it's not necessarily the type of thing where we're talking about a major issue, but it may be once again around. Today, though, by and large, should be mostly sunny.
Good morning. I'm Matt Digby with a look at sports. The Cincinnati Reds had chances to win both Friday and Saturday against the Yankees, but came up short both those days. Sunday, they were hoping to avoid being swept at home for the first time this season. However, that's exactly what happened yesterday at Great American Ballpark. The Reds did open the scoring in the first inning, just like on Saturday. This fly ball here originally ruled foul, but later overturned in a video review, allowing Jonathan India to score the first run. However, the Yankees answering with home runs from both Harrison Bader and Gleyber Torres. The Reds did load the bases in the ninth inning but couldn't capitalize, and that means they have lost 6 of their last 7. It's the third time they have been swept this season, at the Braves, at the Pirates, and now at home against the Yankees. The Dayton Dragons finishing their week-long series with Fort Wayne. A back-and-forth game Sunday, ultimately going to the Tin Caps. Dayton was down 7-4 in the 7th before 6 runs, including a 3-run shot from Justice Thompson. However, Fort Wayne with a grand slam in the 8th to take the game and the series. Dragons are on the road starting tomorrow at the South Bend Cubs. That'll do it for sports. I'm Matt Digby.
6:44 is our time right now. Duck Dilemma. Just ahead, how these cute ducklings found trouble and the hero that stepped up to save the day.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning, everybody. Here's the look of Dayton right now as you look over our tower cam. Morning where it is frankly very quiet. We really don't expect it to be any type of busy weather. There may be some passing clouds. If that classifies as busy, well, you know, like, all right, fair enough. But I mean, that would be about it. I do think as we get into the latter stages of tomorrow, we'll probably see some clouds as well. But again, we're really not talking about any type of wet weather. I know this particular model wanted to show just a little bit of green here or there. I think that's just some darker clouds going to be moving in. That would be about it. The atmosphere is just very much so dry across the board. Today, 80 degrees, a mix of sun and clouds at the absolute worst. But generally speaking, a lot of sun. Tonight, ditto that, except I think for tomorrow, we'll have temperatures somewhere in the low 80s. It'll be a partly to mostly sunny day, and frankly, we're going to continue with those temperatures in the 80s. 60s are expected on your Thursday, and for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, temperatures mid to upper 70s. So even into the weekend, still dry, still very much so comfortable.
These photos come from Bozeman, Montana, where firefighters rescued a family of ducklings from a storm drain. Neighbors called for help last week. Firefighters arrived and pried open the drain. Down below, they found 10 ducklings. Look at those little guys. The mama duck and one sibling quacked loudly in the grass nearby. Animal control officers helped get all the ducklings out safely, and the happy family was reunited and waddled off together. That's so cute that the mama stayed by, like close by.
I know. Look how sweet those little things
so
are.
itty-bitty.
Oh my gosh, 10 ducklings.
Yeah,
wow.
But okay, good. If it was a Canadian goose, I'd be like, all right, the less of them, the better. But I mean, that's a cute duckling. Like, they're cute. Like,
Yeah, because geese are mean, dude.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, we
Yeah.
think they're cute, and then, you know, one of them bites your finger when you're 10 years old, and you smack it with bread. Angela, my sister.
Oh, wow. I was going to say, there's some life-scarring story coming up from Nick here.
No, it was my sister. She whacked the heck out of a goose.
Well, you're still scarred from it, too. So.
Oh, I just
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
They're coming at you.
Yeah. Back off, goose. Our time right now is 6:52. Still to come.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the latest on the high-stakes debt ceiling talks to avoid a default. President Biden and Speaker McCarthy set to meet again this afternoon. What both sides are saying and what's at stake. And also, we're going to hear from Paul Whelan, the former U.S. Marine imprisoned in Russia for more than 4 years, sounding optimistic about coming home. We'll have those stories and so much more right here on GMA.